Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got the tank review for the brand new Mercenary Tier 8 Premium Medium tank, the Starchild, which is part of the new Metal Fest KISS collaboration. If you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel. And yes, another new Mercenary tank. So this one is the M51 Super Sherman hull, the Cromwell turret, and the gun of a Barask, but a bit weird in that obviously some of the statistics of it have been changed. It's got from 360 alpha to 280, and you've got 3 shots, that sort of thing. On the whole, the Starchild surprised me. I've played quite a bit of the games that you're going to see on stream, so you're going to see the entire playthrough near enough of the Starchild, or at least 10 of the games anyway. And then I played all the rest of the tanks on stream as well, so you can get to see all of them in action. And the Starchild surprised me. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression, which is really flexible. The mobility is actually pretty good. The camo's okay. It's okay. It's not really good camo, but it's good enough. And the view range is good enough as well. The gun handling can be a bit wonky at times, but the reload means you're constantly pushing out damage. You don't sit and twiddle your thumbs all that often in the Starchild, and it means that you just generally keep the damage flowing out of this tank. And that's why it surprised me, because I've had a lot of fun playing it, and it's taken a bit to get the most out of it, but generally, if you play it like that support auto-loading medium tank that it wants to be, you're going to have a great time with it. If you're over-aggressive in this tank, that's where it's going to go downhill very, very quickly, and you might see that in one or two of the replays. But yeah, it's one of those tanks that is a true support tank, and if you play it in that support role, it's going to go fantastically for you. And like I say, it's fully surprised me in how actually nice to play it is. It's a really funky tank to look at as well, because Super Sherman hull with Cromwell turret in this gun. Very weird, but yeah, like I say, it's pretty damn enjoyable to play. I enjoyed the Starchild. I think out of the 4 tanks so far, this is probably my favourite. I'm putting it out there. I think this is my favourite out of the 4. So let's get into the statistics of the Starchild. So as you can see, we've got a 56 km/h top speed, 22 km/h reverse speed, 720 horsepower engine, which is 19.46 horsepower per ton ratio, which means you get up to the top speed pretty easily, and it absolutely flies, especially since you've got a 1.5 soft, 0.7 on medium, and 0.6 on firm. The terrain resistances are fantastic, do not hold you back whatsoever, and since you've got that very good power to weight ratio as well, you absolutely fly up to the 56 km/h top speed. 15% internal fire chances on the middle of fire chances, and I generally haven't really been set on fire in this tank, so that's definitely nice for the Starchild. 44 degrees a second on the track traverse means that this tank does turn very quickly on its tracks, which is great for the Starchild. 347 metres of still concealment with 368 metres of on the move concealment aren't that great, but if you run the advanced concealment with all the camo perks and stuff like that, or at least the camouflage expertise and silent driving, you'll get that down to a near 300 metres of still concealment, which still isn't great, to be honest, and you're still a huge target, but it's good enough that you can stay unspotted in quite a few locations, which is definitely nice for the Starchild and really helps when you are trying to drop this 3-shot auto-loading clip. You've got 380 metres of view range as well, which is bog standard for a Tier 8 tank, so that's fine, because you'll get it up to about 486 when you get it fully kitted out. You've got 44 degrees a second on the turret traverse, which means it's the same as the tracks, so that means it will be better than it if you don't help the track traverse. So that can be quite nice for the Starchild. It does turn its turret very, very quickly. A 2.01 accuracy during rotation with a 3.62 accuracy during movement is not great, and it means that the aim circle does bloom out quite a bit. If you run all 3 gun perks on the gun stabilizer though, it doesn't really matter that much, and the aim circle isn't that big, and with a 0.38 accuracy you'll get that down to a decent level as well, meaning the gun is pretty accurate. It's just occasionally when you try to take a snapshot, you'll notice that how much more derpy this gun is than some other vehicles, as occasionally the shots do spoon and fly off into the distance, and you sit there going, oh yeah, it's actually not that good at gun handling. But the aim circle doesn't bloom out much at all when you get it fully kitted out, but you do feel the 2.5 second aim time when it is blooming out a bit, as that is not the best aim time in the universe as well. Like I say, the general gun handling of the Starchild isn't the best, and will leave a lot to be desired at times. You sit there going, oh, how did you miss that gun? It's one of those kinds of guns. But generally, because of the reload, you don't feel that bad for it, because you can just consistently push out damage. As you do have a 10 degrees of gun depression, which is fantastic for this vehicle. It means it's very flexible on a ridgeline, and it means that you can go on those ridgelines, only really expose your turret, meaning they have a very slim shot to get damage on you, which is great. So you've got a 24.10 second reload for this 3-shot auto-loading 105mm gun, which has a 2-second intraclip reload, so it takes 4 seconds from firing the first shot to be able to dish out all 3 shots of damage, and a 24-second reload is a bit long for the clip potential, but generally you get it down to about 19 seconds when you are fully kitted out, and that's actually not too bad. And like I say, once you've dropped the clip, you can just reposition, and it doesn't. Once you've repositioned, it doesn't take long to get that damage flowing again, which is what has surprised me about how nice this Starchild is. Because you look at the reload, you look at the gun handling, you look at how tall the tank is, and you think, ooh, it's a bit underwhelming, especially with the clip potential not being that great. But actually, it's been pretty solid. You get 232 penetration on the standard APCR, which is fine. Deals with most vehicles you're going to face. And then when you get the tier 10s that you struggle to pen, you can load the 278 penetration premium APCR rounds, which means you will be able to go through most tanks you'll face, except for maybe Mouse and Type 5 heavy tanks. You got 53mm of penetration on the HE for 340 alpha as well, because you got 280 on the standard. But generally, you're never going to take the HE because you just don't really get that much chance to load it or fire it. Most of the time, you fire the standard and premium APCR, and especially in some of the longer lasting games, you can end up going, oh, I'm starting to run low on ammo. So if you were loading the HE, you'd be losing out on a full clip of something else. You got 1,000 meters a second shell velocity on the standard APCR, 1250 on the premium APCR, and 900 on the HE. So you bang average in terms of your standard APCR velocity, and it does feel a little bit slow for APCR, but it's bang average, meaning you have to give a good amount of lead at distance to be able to hit your targets, but it's neither terrible nor is it good. 1250 on the premium APCR is quite nice though, and it means that you still have to give it a little bit of lead at distance to be able to hit your targets, but the velocity is a lot nicer, and it generally makes the gun handling feel that little bit nicer, just because that velocity is that little bit nicer. 150% silver bonus is on the low end of silver bonuses, so this tank doesn't actually make... Well, it makes decent silver because it's a tier 8 premium, but it doesn't make as good a silver as some of the other vehicles, like the Demon that's just come out. That was 155%, was it? Something like that. That makes better silver than this thing does, but yeah, it still makes good silver because it is a tier 8 premium, and to be honest, because the penetration is quite nice, and especially depending on the matchup, you can still make a lot of silver from doing a lot of damage in this vehicle. So in terms of the modules for the Starchild, you can see where the engine block is. Like I say, I've had the engine damaged, but I've not really been set on fire in this vehicle, which is definitely nice. Haven't felt that 15% internal fire chance. The ammo racks are there. I have had the ammo rack damaged in this vehicle a couple of times, but it's never really been damaged that much. For saying how much ammo rack this tank is, it's not been that bad for getting ammo racked, which, yeah, is surprising, really, for the Starchild. And for the crew, that's where all the crew sit in this tank. And for the armour, like I say, the armour on this vehicle is non-existent. It's basically paper. It's a Super Sherman hull, which is paper. It's a Cromwell turret, which is a tier 6 turret at tier 8, which is paper. So, yeah, you're likely to get penned by pretty much everything. Occasionally, because of the angling on the hull, you can ricochet shots from on this vehicle. You can. But you're never ever going to rely on it, and it's definitely pure pain in most regards, as you are quite easy to pen. You've only got 50mm of side armor as well, which means a lot of HE shells actually go through your side armor very easily too, because you've got this big flat side armor here, which can take HE shells quite consistently. So that can also be pain for the Starchild, but yeah, the armor isn't the thing that you're really going to know this tank for. So in terms of a crew and equipment for this vehicle, I have put the crew in the cruncher. So on this tank I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise, and Silent Driving. Silent Driving to get the camo during movement down as low as possible, so it's a lot easier for me to reposition to new flanking positions without getting spotted. The Camouflage Expertise to get the best out of the camo so that I can stay unspotted in a lot of situations, and all 3 gun perks to make sure that this gun at least hits its shots, as it is poor if you do not help it out. And then in terms of the equipment for this vehicle, I do run food as always. And then I run the optics to be able to spot for myself and get some good assistance damage games. The gun stabilizer to get the accuracy during rotation and movement down as low as possible, so that I can keep the aim circle as small as possible so that I can always be ready to fire the shots. And the camouflage net to get that camo down so that I can stay unspotted in quite a few locations, and it's nice to be able to do that, and especially in certain situations stay unspotted while firing so that you don't get spotted, don't take a hit, because this vehicle doesn't take hits very well, and like I say, if you're spotted and you're a big target, you're going to get penned, so it can be pain for you, so it's nice to have that camo net. Realistically, if you didn't care about the camo, you could run the traction system to go at 61 kilometers an hour, and you would hit that. So that's really down to you and how you want to play the vehicle. I just prefer that sort of setup to help the camo and help generally the gun handling on this tank, as that's the key to victories for this tank. So the statistics of the tank now, it's fully kitted out. We've not really helped the speed of it. The ground resistances have got a little bit better, even though we've not really helped them out too much. You've got 297 meters of still concealment now, with 305 meters of on the move concealment, which is, like I say, bang average. It's bang average medium tank camo. It's alright. It's good enough for you to stay unspotted in quite a few locations, and it's a lot nicer than it was if you didn't help it out, which is why we do help it. 486 meters of view range is good enough for you to be able to spot for yourself as well. Again, bang average view range for this vehicle. 47.78 degrees a second on turret rotation speed is faster than the tracks, and that is nice for the Starchild indeed. 0.98 accuracy during rotation is not that great, with a 2.06 accuracy during movement, again, not that great realistically, and it means the aim circle does bloom out a fair bit, but that's why we've helped it out with the gun stabilizer and all 3 gun perks, because it would be a lot worse if we didn't. 2.3 second aim time as well is a little bit better than it was, because it's better than the 2.5 second aim time, but you still do feel it when that gun aim circle does bloom out. 0.31 is accurate though, and like I say, because of the base accuracy at 0.38, which is on the derpier end of the scale, it can occasionally derp shots, and it does feel a bit derpy at times, and especially just because the accuracy during rotation and movement isn't that great, but 0.31 is pretty accurate, so when you get this tank fully aimed in, a lot of the time it will hit its shots. 19.53 second reload is 2.1k DPM, so the reload's got a lot better, and like I say, that reload is very, very quick, and it's very nice. You don't really notice the reload. You fire the clip, you go reposition, you go, oh, I'm ready again, great. That's a lovely thing for the Starchild. 2.1k DPM is low, but at the same time, you don't pay attention to DPM that much for autoloaders because they're more about their burst damage than they are the raw DPM. But yeah, that's the statistics of the Starchild with it fully kitted out with what I run. And like I say, it's a tank that I've just thoroughly enjoyed playing it. It's been a joy to play. I mean, how many games have I played in it up to this point? I've played 15 games in it. We're having a very good time with it. A lot of the games have been absolutely solid. And yeah, like I say, it's been thoroughly enjoyable. This is definitely my favourite of the 4. And I will definitely be picking it up when I get that 35% discount as well. So what I'm going to do now is send you into the replays where you can watch this tank in action, see how it handles, and just see if it's a bit of you or not. So as always, I'll see you in the replays. So here we are in the replays with the Starchild, and this first game we're here on this map, which is Erlenberg. And on Erlenberg, what I want to do is go to a position like D9, where I can go hull down, use the 9 degrees of gun depression. I'm not going to bounce anything off the turret, to be fair, but I can go there, catch people out as they cross the AB line, and try and drop some clips. And because the mobility, as you can see, is so good on this vehicle, you reach that top speed almost instantly. It's one thing that I think it really did catch me out how good the mobility is on this tank, and just how nice everything as a package works on the Starchild. Like I say, if you're too aggressive and you play this tank like you're going to be frontlining against tanks left, right and centre, it's not going to go very well for you. But if you play it like that nice support tank where you can keep popping over, doing a couple of shots and then pull back, that's where you're going to get the best out of this vehicle. So we finally get here to this little ridge. Say finally, we got here pretty quickly. We get to the ridge line, we see the 112. I really want to try and get some shots into this guy to stop him crossing, because if he gets to the corner at C0, it's going to be a little bit awkward getting rid of him, because we're going to struggle to pen him that easily, and also he'll just be able to poke over and just slap us in our big fat square turret with his 390 Alpha gun, which we don't particularly want to happen, realistically. So we're just poking over to see if we can find anyone else crossing, seeing if we can get any shots into the Barask, or try and find a cheeky shot into maybe the 112. We see the Barask is trying to run away, so I'll try and pop a shot straight away at him, but he actually dropped into a little dip that I couldn't see, so we missed that shot. And we go instantly for the reload, and that's something that the Starchild can do, because that reload is so quick on this vehicle. You press reload, you press right on the D-pad to reload your clip, or it's right on the D-pad for me at least, and then you're ready to go. There's no point holding on to 2 shells. I may as well just go for the full reload and be ready to drop 3 shells in straight away, as that's just the best thing to do in general, because it's a bit of a waste if you hold on to 2 shells for no reason. So we're just trying to look for a shot into the light tank. Our team seems to be now pressuring the 112, which is good. We get the tracking shot into the Panther 2, but sadly the first shot bounced, the second shot only did track damage, and the third shot does finally end up penning him. And we're up to 803 damage, so we've not really started too well in terms of our damage. The gun's derped a little bit. I think that Panther is... those shots at the Panther were probably indicative of the gun in general, that if you don't get the gun aimed in, it does like derping the shots, left, right and centre. And they kind of go all over the place. But when you get it fully aimed, it's not too bad, which is probably, well, it's one of the balancing factors, right? It's the fact that it doesn't have an absolute laser-accurate gun, because if it did, it'd probably be absolutely mental, realistically. So I'm going to try and get myself into a better position to try and get shots at this KV-85, because from down here I should be able to get shots at him, but we find the CS-53. I have no idea how that shot didn't actually hit the CS-53 the first one. It seemed to hit something. I think it might have even been a destructible wall, and it took the shell, so we didn't hit the CS-53, but we hit him with the final 2 shots from the clip. Good times. I didn't expect to find that guy there, but we'll take it. We'll take the free damage. And once again, 2, 1, we're ready to go. Just like that, 19.5 second reload. So we're backing up to get shots into the KV-85. We get the tracking shot, and the SFAT 105 double barrels him, that poor guy. But we get the tracking assist for 533. Trying to find shots into the brass now. We get 1 shot into him, and I didn't realise that I still had 1 shell left. For some reason, my brain farted. You can see my disappointment there. Visible disappointment. Yeah, my disappointment there. I could have got 2 shots into that Barask, but I boo-booed and thought I only had 1 shell left. And I think it's because my brain went, oh, you put 2 shots into the KV-85, when realistically, I only put 1 in, and then he got done in. So we find the Churchill 7 at the back. We get 1 shot into his side, a 2nd shot in, and we can't quite find the 3rd shot. Instantly go for the reload yet again, because why would we hold on to that shell? We're just ready to instantly go, reload this clip, and let's get back to it. We've noticed the 2 medium tanks that were earlier on, the Panther 2 and the Barask, are now pushing to D9, and that's because everybody that was fighting that flank ran back to the base, which is good, because they reset the base. Bad, because it reopened the flank. So we're going to go pressure the Panther 2 and this Barask, because they seem to be the only 2 here. So I'm hoping, and I ping help to go, please help me. Please everybody come and help with this. Because the Barask could YOLO us, but I think with what we've got behind us, the likelihood is if they try and YOLO us, and I doubt they will, but if they try and YOLO us, they will get punished for it. They'll probably end up dying and losing their entire tank. So if we can just sort of bait it, then great stuff. So I see the Panther 2. I don't know where the Barask has gone. I decide, okay, I can take a hit from the Panther 2 and deliver all 3 shells. So I get 1 into him. The Barask YOLO's over, puts a shot in. And then the Charioteer also full sends us, even though he's taking hits from the back. Ends up finishing us off, but loses his whole tank to do it. So what we tried to do realistically worked, but sad times it ended up getting is destroyed. And that's the problem when you play this tank a little bit too aggressive, is the fact that you do get destroyed just like that. It's quite easy for that to happen. I'm finished with 2.9k damage, 847 assistance, the 2nd class, the Confederate, with the 1240 base XP. A decent game there for the Starchild. Fairly average game, realistically, for the Starchild. And that one and this replay were really the odd ones out, because I had a lot of ridiculous games in this tank. A lot. I've got about 5 more replays that I could make another video out of for this tank, for example, because it just went that well. And the next 2 games after this are, yeah, they're pretty solid. They're pretty solid. So, yeah, we're on to this 2nd replay. In the 2nd replay, we're here on Himmelsdorf, which is not the best map for the Starchild. It's a bit of a brawly map, which this tank is not a brawly tank. It wants to be finding those side shots. It wants to be finding those opportunities to get flanking efforts in. Whereas it's a bit of a struggle to do it on Himmelsdorf. But Himmelsdorf, you can play peekaboo a little bit better. So you can poke around a corner, go bang, 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 and pull back. And since it only takes 4 seconds from firing the first shell to get all 3 shells out, it's not too bad at it. So we do get a shot into towards the Talon, but we miss. We bounce a shot, but didn't spot what shot us. And it bounced us for 150. Which makes me think I either bounced a Panther or an LTG, but I'm pretty sure an LTG is 160 or 180. So I think I bounced a Panther, which is, number 1, quite impressive, because we shouldn't bounce anything. But number 2, how did I not see it? Like, okay. So we put a shot towards the Panther's turret, which we should have been able to pen. We get a 2nd one through his turret front, 3rd one through his turret front, and we got 2 shells straight into that guy. And I decided, you know what, that was a good trade. We only traded 151 hit points, and we dished out 580. Because that's what autoloaders do. They trade. You make that trade. You decide, okay, I'm going to take a hit from him. That's what I did in the last game, and it didn't work out. Because it doesn't always work out. And that is, I decided from the Panther 2 in the last game, I'm going to take the 280 hit from the Panther 2, and then dish out the 700, 800 odd damage I can do to him with 3 shells. Now, naturally, it didn't work out, because I took a hit from the Panther 2, and then 2 other tanks YOLO'd me. And in that scenario, I did the same. And that's the way autoloaders do it, and it's calculated trades. I knew I'd take 150 damage from the Panther, but I knew I could dish out a lot of hurt into him, and that's what we did. It's the way that you play these kinds of autoloaders that don't have any hit, well, don't have any armor, is that, you know, if you're going to get shot at, you're going to take a hit. So you think, can I take this hit, dish out damage, and then still be effective throughout the rest of the game? The answer is yes, do it. So we're now chasing after that Panther and the Centurion, and I know the Panther's kept moving. I don't know where the Centurion's gone. So we're just going to deal with the Batchat, the light tank, the other light tank, and the Panther. So we drive around the corner, find Mr. Panther. He expected me to keep driving, but I stopped, and I completely brake-checked it. I was the chosen one. You know, Neo, everything. Matrixed it, missed it, and then dropped all 3 shells in. So I'm making it look like I'm running away from that Panther now, and as soon as I got unspotted, flick back around, and off I go to go finish off Mr. Panther, who's probably expecting the fact that I've run away somewhere else. There's also the light tank coming in as well. So we get after the Panther, RBR, well, we finished him off, we didn't RBR team, we finished him off, get the second shell in to shut down the Batchat 12T, and that's why I did the running away tactic, the looking like I was running away tactic, because the Panther was looking down a different road expecting me to appear somewhere else, and I popped back round and went, hi friend, I've got you. So we see the Centurions back on the hill, and it's fair play how he got there that quick, but sure. And I know from backing up towards this corner, I can get shots up onto that hill area. So I'm watching this Centurion going, please back up, please back up. Yes, he's backing up. Let's go, Terrapin for pressuring him. We get one shot in, second one in to try and track him, but we didn't. But the third one goes in, sets him on fire, and finishes off that Centurion. And we finish the game with another decent total there for the Starchild on Himmelsdorf. Finished with the victory, 3 kills, 3.2k damage, 460 assistance damage. The second class with the 1454 base XP. Pretty decent game again for the Starchild on what is a map that's not really the best for it. But now we're into the third replay, and this third replay we're here on Thankyou Ridge, and this time, the last two were pretty nice matchups. This one is not a good matchup. We're in a tier 10 lobby, so what we want to do is go to around G5 here on Thankyou Ridge, and the reason I want to do that is because I can get shots across at people that might climb the hill and go to around D8. If people get spotted at C5, I can shoot them there, and I can decide where and when I want to move up to a different position to try and find shots. It's just a really flexible position for chopping and changing, pretty much. You do have to be careful, though, because you can get spotted here, especially by people that climb up the hill. And if there's some big TDs sitting at the back at C4-5, which can get there without getting spotted, it can go pretty badly for you. So you do have to be careful of that in the Starchild. So I'm just trying to get a crossing shot into the Sheridan, but I made a boo-boo, really. I didn't stay in the one position where I could have got shots at that guy as he crossed, and so we missed the opportunity to get shots into him. We snapped the shot, though, into that Sheridan as he is pressuring the medium tank, but we missed the second one, and we've only got 3 shells. Well, we've only got 1 shell left, sorry. So we go straight for the reload. And we reload the premium APCR because that's a 279E, and my 232 pen will struggle with the 279E, whereas 278 might have a chance of going through. If I have his side, I'm more likely to go through anyway, but I just want the extra penetration. Thankfully, artillery tracks him sideways on, which is absolutely perfect for us, and we catch all 3 shots. And I was really, the reason I aimed in that position especially is because the ammo rack is there for the 279E, and I was so disappointed that 2 of those shells didn't damage the ammo rack. The final one did, which, you know, damaged the ammo rack, but I was really hoping to damage the ammo rack and then maybe pop it, because 279Es do like to lose their ammo rack, but hey-ho. We're up to 1133 damage so far. It's been a pretty decent start. The Sheridan started to pressure our standard B again. We tried to snap the shot into the Sheridan, but he did end up getting back. We're just keeping our eye out, though, for him to come after him, because I feel like the way he's been going, he will try and pressure that standard B again. And, in fact, there's the Batchat. So we snapped the shot into the Batchat, which we were basically aimed anyway, because we were fully waiting for someone to appear over there. And we've got that 1 shell left, and I could reload, but I feel like, again, the Sheridan or the Batchat could have appeared. But with that happening, I decided, okay, screw it, I'm going for the full reload, and I'm now repositioning. I'm just sort of a bit stagnant in this position that I've been sat in, so I want to move up towards where this Pershing is. Maybe I can get around the side of the heavy tank and the medium tank, or maybe I'll be in a better position to shoot the light tank and the medium tank. I might have better shots at the Sheridan or the Batchat from over here, which we do. Sadly, the first one loops, the second one hits the floor, and we can't quite find the final shell into the Sheridan. Really unfortunate with the gun handling there, but again, that is the gun handling. It can be derpy. It's not the most accurate gun in the universe. So don't expect it to be an absolute laser and hit every single shot you're ever going to hit. It will just hit a lot of the shots. You know, it's one of those guns, it can be like that. So we poked forward, got spotted by the Centurion, so we've just been as careful as possible, because the Centurion could get shots into us, but they can get shots into us from the hill into this position as well. And clearly, the Sheridan was looking for shots at us. The Batchat got spotted but managed to pull back. We aimed the shot towards the Sheridan, but yeah, we missed that shot there. Batchat 25T, we can't quite find the shot into. Hoping that the Sheridan possibly gets spotted again, but, well, it doesn't quite happen. We go for the full reload. We spot the Charlemagne has pushed aggressively into the Progetto 65 in the medium tank. The Progetto 65 rammed the Charlemagne, which was not ideal. It's lost a lot of hit points that he could have used. 430 version 2 is also pushed aggressively, so we're going to help this Progetto 65 if we can. We get one shot into the side of this guy, aiming for the front section so that I could try and set him on fire, but he managed to turn his whole hull towards us, and sadly for the Progetto 65, he ends up getting finished off there by that 430 version 2. And this guy, I think, knows I'm reloading, or something like that, and was coming straight round after us, but thankfully he gets finished off by the standard B who was coming in to help. We see the FV215B and the Centurion. We get a bit lucky there with that snapshot. That was a truly lucky snapshot that tracked and penned the Centurion. Wasn't aiming for that. That was a, oh boy, a Centurion! And we hit it. And we got all 3 shells and damaging his Zamrak as well. He only put 1 shell into us, but with the Centurion pulling back, he's now clippable for us, which is fine. But I don't want to attack the Centurion, because if they've got TDs back at C2, and we know there was a waffle over there in that direction, they're just going to mince us. So I decide, okay, we've got to get across this gap before we get spotted by the Centurion, and then get up down into the next channel, get behind the FV215B, and finish that tier 10 heavy tank off. Which we can do, because he's also clippable, but it would have gone downhill if he knew we were coming. So we slow down, make sure the gun's getting aimed in, get behind this FV215B, 1 shot into the back of his turret, 2nd shot in finishes him off, and then go straight for the reload, so that we have a full clip ready for this Centurion if he comes after us. And we already know from taking a hit that he is fully upgraded, so he's going to hit us for the 240 odd, but we are just waiting on this reload to then go and clip out the Centurion, because we really want to get rid of this guy. So we put a shot into his upper plate, get very lucky that we ricocheted that guy as well, though. We actually ricocheted a shot. Yeah, like I say, angles. Angles do exist on this vehicle, and they can mean that you could ricochet shots, which can be quite nice. So we can't find the shots into the Centurion. I decide, okay, you know what? I'm just going to ignore the Centurion for now. I can't get shots into him. There's no point worrying about it as of now. That Waffly 100 looks like he's charging after us. So if we can get a full clip into him and run away, that would be good, because we need to get as much hit points off that dude as possible. Because, like I say, I feel like he's coming after us. And in fact, he is. So we get 1 shot into him that damages his gun. 2nd shot goes in, breaks his gun. Absolutely perfect. 3rd shell goes in, and we've managed to get 3 perfect shots into the Waffly 100. It broke his gun, which meant he couldn't fire back at us. And he is clearly still charging after us, and I can't stay here. If I stay here, he will just clip me out, and I can't kill him in a clip. I've got a heavy tank that's charging in, though, a full health T95 FV4201, which is the Unskinned Valor. So I get back round this corner, wait in ambush for this Waffly 100 to just drive around. The Unskinned Valor seems to be running away, but I think with the Waffly 100 now getting spotted, he knows he's coming. We get 1 shot into the Waffle. I don't want to take a hit from him, though, so I'm being as careful as possible. And the 3rd shot ricochets. We ricocheted on the turret of a Waffly 100. Sad times, which means he's not a 1-shot now for the Unskinned Valor, and he can get some shots into that guy. But thankfully, the T95 FV4201 manages to finish off that Waffly 100. The Centurion got a shot into us from back here from that we left on 53 hit points earlier on. We bounce 1, he pens us, but we do manage to finish him off there. And we secure our 2nd kill of this game, 5.4k damage, 292 assistance. A fantastic game so far for a tier 8 tank in a tier 10 lobby. Sadly, though, the M5355 says, hey, you have hit points. I'm just going to slam you and take away most of them, which means that you're now a 1-shot for all of the tanks left in this game, which is pretty awkward. I could have taken a hit from that Batchat if that artillery hadn't hit us, and that meant we could have, you know, we could be a bit more aggressive. But I'm still going to be aggressive anyway because it's me, and it's just I take chances. It is what it is. That Batchat was clearly angling to try and get shots at us, but managed to bounce a shot from the light tank, and the light tank bounces a shot from him. Okay, so we're just trying to get up on top of the hill so we can poke over and shoot the Batchat, but, well, physics says absolutely not. So we get around the corner, RBRT the shot, he RBRT'd his shot, he missed, I killed him. We'll take the RNG going for us like that. The M53-55 misses his snapshot. We ended up tracking him as well so we could get some tracking assist. And, well, that guy's going to die before we reload as the 3105 finishes him off. And we finished the game with a fantastic game there for the Starchild. We finished the game with 6.1k damage. The victory with top of the team. 3 kills, 6.1k damage. 2.3k base XP for 677 assistance as well. Ace Tanker, the Lever Schleilos for killing 2 tanks 2 tiers higher. The High Caliber, and like I say, 2.3k base XP. A fantastic game there for the Starchild in a poor matchup. Showing off what you want to be doing in the Starchild. Really, that was the perfect way to play the Starchild, where you are not really the main focus of people's attention. You're constantly finding ways to keep your gun in the game, but while not being the focus of attention, keeping the support going, and where you can pick off tanks and you can do the typical auto-loader thing. You can go, I can clip that person out now. They're within my clip's possibility. I'm going to go sneak up on them and put shells in them. Because the mobility on this vehicle is so good, and the gun handling's alright, it's alright. You saw that it can be a bit ropey at times in that previous game. You can get in, drop the clip, finish them off, run away, and it's nice for that. And having both penetrations on the standard APCR and the premium APCR means that you can deal with most vehicles you're going to face anyway, which is lovely. So we're on the 4th and final replay here on this map, which is Highway. And on Highway, we've done the thing that we want to do, which is we've come to this ridgeline here at F9. And this ridgeline here at F9 is a good position to defend because you can shoot people as they come up the AB line, and you can shoot people as they cross into the town if you spot them and they come up the aggressive way along the J line. The thing with Highway is it's one of those things. Our spawn is not the best spawn in the universe, as they get control of most of the map. What we have to do for our team, or what our team has to do on Highway from this spawn, is win the town. You have to win the town and then come back to this ridgeline. Because 90% of the time, trying to push down the K line is death for your team. Especially since they have 2 or 3 people camping at J2, there's enough cover there and enough going off that they can basically farm everyone as they drop down into the valley, which is just awkward. So you want to try and win the town and then come back to defend your cap from people who come through the ABC line. So we managed to get a shot into that T-32A. You saw me wiggle the gun, and that's because I was streaming at the time. This game was done on stream. And I was saying that I destroyed that building that was in front of the T-32A. It's always a good building to shoot and destroy, because that means you can get shots down into that little gap where the train car was, and where that T-32A was, and where the Gorilla 15 was. You can shoot down there and get easy shots into those guys and try and stop them getting shots up along the 9 line. So I'm just trying to find shots into the Draugen and the medium tank over there. I can't quite find any shots. I was quite surprised not to find any tanks that would come at the JK as well. So I'm going to maneuver into a better position to try and find angles into that Draugen. So we get one shot out, it misses. There's something else over there that we just saw an AP shell fly. Again, I'm wiggling the gunners to say, hey, there was an AP shell coming from over there. There's something else that's unspotted over there. So we have to be careful and keep that in the mind. So we're waiting on the reload, and I'm thinking about what I want to do next. Do I want to go and attack the town, or do I want to try and stay on this ridgeline? I think, we need to win the town, because a lot of our team are committed over there. So we need to go win the town and come back to defend the base. Because the unfortunate thing is a lot of our team have gone that way, so there's not much defending our base anymore. But if they're taking their time to deal with just a Gorilla 15 and a Ruthless, oh no, it's not a Ruthless, it's a 4005. It's 183mm pain anyway. With the 4005 in the Gorilla, if they're taking this long to deal with it, we need to move them on. We need to get this team moving as fast as humanly possible so that we can go back and defend our cap. So we're going after the Gorilla. We get one shot in. Thankfully, he shoots at the Ruthless. We finish him off with a shot through the little gap and go straight for the reload, because we're going to need the clip to go after Mr. 4005. And again, this is where autoloaders naturally come into their own. When you can get in, dish out damage quickly, that's where you want to be. So he's clearly looking the other way at that Skoda, and oh, that poor Skoda takes 183mm of pain. But it's good for us, because we know now we can go in and drop the clip in, and we can finish this guy off. So we get 2 shots into him, 3 shots, and secure our second kill on a tier 10 tank. Leather Schlilo's in the bank. Up to 1500 damage with 2 kills. And now we have to hotfoot it back to our base, because they are pushing aggressively down towards our artillery and our TD that's at A9. We've got the 4005 over here at D9, who's also going to be a bit of a hero. And we've got the heavy tank, the TD, coming with us as well. We've perfect amount of people to try and go after it. We went for the shot into the side of the 430U. It flew high. The second shot flew high, so we missed all the shots into the back of that guy, and that's kind of unfortunate. We really wanted those shells to go in, but yeah, no bueno. We load the premium APCR because 232 pen can be a bit awkward against some of these tanks, especially some of the tier 10s, so I'm not going to leave any doubt. I'm going to load the 278 pen and go after things like this 430U. So we get 1 shot in that does track damage only, which is really unfortunate. Second shot that tracks and pens him, and a third shot that unfortunately does not manage to kill that 430U. If that first shot had actually gone in, we'd have secured the kill on that 430U, which was really unfortunate. But it is what it is. We're up to 2,097 damage and 468 assistance. M5Y is pushed now right in front of everyone. Oh, the 430U and the T30 got absolutely eviscerated because 4005 said hi. Just trying to find the shot into the side of the M5Y. We got 1 pen in, but the second one didn't as it bounced. The third shot we went for the Cupola, but it missed. And that M46 pattern KR is irritating me. It's time to get rid of that dude, because he's catching us in a bit of a crossfire while we're going for the M5Y. So we may as well go get rid of this gun and pressure him out of this game. So the M5Y gets shut down by the 4005. Use the mobility of this vehicle with the 10 degrees of gun depression, go over and start putting the shots into this M46 pattern career. Put him down to a 1-shot for most of the vehicles that are actually left on our team, and then switch back to standard APCR, because we don't need the premium APCR at this point. And that was an AP shell. That was an AP shell that flew past. There's 3 tanks left on the enemy team. 2 Ruthless and an SVAC 105. SVAC 105 doesn't fire AP. So that was a 183mm shell of pain that just zipped past our tank. That could have been painful. So we know there's a Ruthless in this town. So I'm just trying to spot him, because I'm thinking maybe he's just sat at the end of here, which is why you see me bob and duck and dip and dive. Dodge, duck, dip, dive and dodge. 5D's a dodgeball. It's what we want to do, because we're making it as difficult as possible if we do get spotted for that Ruthless to hit us. But we're not finding the Ruthless. And this is concerning me, because we need to get rid of the 183mm gun from behind before we can go deal with what's going off somewhere else. So the Carnarvon's pushing quite aggressively, and is definitely unsafe in the way that he's pushing. Maybe he'll find the Ruthless that's sitting along the K-line, but yeah, unfortunately he takes 1,000 damage hit there from the Ruthless that's sitting down there. But that's good. It's bad because the Carnarvon got shut down. Sad times for the Carnarvon. But it's good, because now we have the information. We know where the Ruthless is. He's at G4. We know where the other Ruthless is. He's somewhere in this town area. And we're going to go and try and find him and surprise him and live in hope that he also doesn't then come and get us, because that would be a bad time. So I'm going to take it as careful as possible when driving around some of these corners, because I'm fully expecting him to drive around a corner somewhere and go, "Hi, I'm here to murder you." And yeah, we get murdered. But we're not finding him, so I'm thinking, okay, let's go see if we can... We know where that artillery was. Let's just see if we can poke around and find something around there. And in fact, we find the SVAC 105. So we get 1 shot in him. We're going to be chancy with this guy. Second shot. And thankfully for me, the gun handling behaves, and we get all 3 shots into the SVAC 105, putting him down to a 1-shot. And there's the Ruthless. The Ruthless gets spotted at E0, which means I know now I can push round the town very easily without taking 183mm of pain, which is great. So we're going to go get rid of the SVAC 105, try not to take a hit from the other Ruthless, and then get after the other Ruthless that's at E0. So we put around the corner. The SVAC 105 was fully expecting me to turn up somewhere else, and so we got the drop on him, securing our 3rd kill of this game. Our 4005 is moving back to defend the base, and since I was last spotted in this direction, I was fully expecting the Ruthless to come back and try and get me while I was isolated. So I'm expecting a 183mm gun to poke round a corner at any given point and go, "Hi, friend!" Delete! And thus my game is over. but we're not finding it. So what I'm going to do is use the mobility of this tank to get up towards my 4005. And in fact, we found the Ruthless. That is very fortunate. That's because of the bushes. He doesn't see me. I see him. We missed the shot into the back of him. The third shot hits the train. Or second shot hits the train, sorry. The third shot hits him, though. We do actually pen him in the rear there, which is great. But sad times that the first one missed. The second one was just bad aim. We hit the train that was in the way. And we get ourselves safely onto this ridge line here. We know that the Ruthless dived right, so we're going to try to spot him and see if we can see him for our 4005 to hopefully go delete. And this is where having that camo is nice for this vehicle. We track one shot in, get a second shot in, don't chance it. Do not chance it. And unfortunately for us, the 4005 doesn't actually manage to finish off the Ruthless with a shot there. It just leaves him on low hit points. But I could have stuck around and got a third shell into that Ruthless and he'd have been dead by now. But also what could have happened is he could have pressed RB, pressed RT, and instantly snapped us and hit us. Because you know what RNG like is in this game. Derpy guns, doesn't matter, they'll still hit you with a snapshot. So there was no point, absolutely no point whatsoever, chancing it, and so we managed to get the two shots in and then got out of dodge. We spot one Ruthless crossing, and I was really hoping he'd just drive out around that building there so we could get some surprise shots into him. We spot the other Ruthless, just trying to find a shot into the Ruthless, but can't find it. He really needs to go. Thankfully, the 4005 gets the shot into him. He went where I was about to go and managed to get rid of him. The other Ruthless is now driving over, so we get one shot in, track and pen him with the second shot, and you can see me hesitate there. I wanted to get that third shot in, but I was like, I don't want to take that shot from the Ruthless. I just don't want to. So we get out of dodge. After putting one shell in, we're just slowly whittling his hit points down. And once we're reloaded, we're going to try and stick with this 4005 so we can get after the Ruthless. We find the artillery, but I really don't care about the artillery because I want to get some shots into the... We need to get rid of the Ruthless. The Ruthless is prime target numero uno. He's focused on our 4005. I was trying to track and pen him there, but we never ended up tracking him. We got all three shots into the Ruthless, which is fantastic, but didn't track him, which is what I wanted. The artillery is going after my 4005, hoping that he survives the shot. He's lost most of his hit points to him. The reload's now in, but he just gets into a position I can't shoot him. Thankfully, though, he backs up into a position where I can shoot him. The Ruthless has come over, but thank the Lord, that guy is so preoccupied with the 4005 that he doesn't come over and shoot me. Unfortunately, we ricocheted off his upper plate, but we did get a shot into his lower plate, which means he's now clippable, guaranteed, for me. He's not a fully traversable turret, so we get up behind the Ruthless, and it's time to now shut this guy down, get one shot in, two shots, hopefully don't ricochet the third, and we finish off the Ruthless there for our third kill on a tier 10 tank, our fifth kill of the game, 7,073 damage, 1,061 assistance, the victory with that 5 kills, 2.7, nearly 2.8k base XP, best game I've had in this vehicle. What a game in the end. It was a great game to play. Oskins, the Pascuchis, the High Caliber, the Confederate with that 2.7, nearly 2.8k base XP. Fantastic game for the Starchild in a tier 10 lobby, which, like I say, is definitely the tank I've enjoyed the most out of the 4 new KISS vehicles for Metal Fest. And it's a damn solid tank that has absolutely surprised me. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!